On this episode of The Breakthrough Show, it's time for one of our most anticipated shows of the season. It's our Where Are They Now episode. Join us to check in with 5 of our incredible past guests of The Breakthrough Show and find out what they've been up to since they were last on the show. We'll be hearing from speaker and workshop facilitator Lucinda Harman, producer and actor Sabrina Percario, the Akashic Therapist from Emerge Healing and Wellness Laura Mazzotta, and from season 3 of The Circle on Netflix, we welcome back comedian Michelle Ryder. Then we'll finish off the episode hearing from one of our favorite singer-songwriters, Kevin Kiley, as he sings us his hit 2021 single, I Know You'll Be Home. This is an episode you don't want to miss, coming up today on The Breakthrough Show.
Life gives us moments when we have the opportunity to make a choice, and what we choose has the potential to change our lives forever. Join us now for another inspired episode of The Breakthrough. And now, please welcome the creator and host of the show, Jessica Dugas.
Welcome back to The Breakthrough Show, everybody. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I'm super excited to be with you for our annual Where Are They Now episode. Part of this is bittersweet for me because it always means that there's only one episode left of the season, but that means we have an all new season coming up next year, which I'm really excited about as well. We have several guests coming back to visit us today. We're really excited to welcome back later on in the show. And coming up first, we have a person who has been a constant in my life, if you will, for the last several years. Where does the time go? I don't know, but she does many things. I know she has a formal training and background in psychology, and the amazing thing is I've watched this transformation within her for the last couple of years, and now she's able to bring that transformational space to her clients as well. From Emerge Healing and Wellness, the Akashic Therapist herself, Laura Mazzotta. Welcome back.
Thank you. So happy to be here. I love spending time with you.
I know. I've missed you, and I'm really glad to give everybody a little bit of an update today on what you've been up to. And you've got a lot of juiciness going on in Laura world. So tell us a little bit about where you've been and what you've been up to.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of things. Depends on the layer that you're looking at. I've been doing a lot of my own healing for sure, as we all are, right, on a day-to-day basis. Right. And I've been, honestly, it's so beautiful because I'm celebrating them completely out of the traditional therapy world, which really, I can't even remember when my episode was, to be honest, but it was December 2020 that I officially closed that. And so I am really celebrating having so much freedom and expansiveness to spend more time with my family and to really do very, very inspiring work. And I've shifted really to particularly helping people with chronic illness because it's something that I've experienced so much. And I know that you've experienced as well over the past 5 years. And I'm really, it just feels right. You know, that's where my passion is, to assist people with getting to their highest level of vibrancy, you know, and vitality, and being able to feel that despite the days when you feel like crap. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I know that we touched on this when you were here before, because sort of the elephant in the room, if you will, when people are going through their own healing journey is if you're not at the place of perfection, how can you possibly be helping other people to go through these things if you're still going through it? So I just imagine that because you're helping other people, Laura Mazzotta, that you never have a problem.
No, I'm actually perfection. I am perfection embodied.
Yes. I love it. Because we are truly, right?
Yeah, because
we are.
I've been really just fine tuning my perfection so that I but yeah, I mean, honestly, what's funny is that, and this is actually, I'm really glad that we're talking about this because it's bringing attention to the fact that even though we get in our heads as entrepreneurs and we can go back and forth about like, oh, okay, how much impact am I making and how all of that and where am I going and what are next steps and the how and all of that. My ultimate success is the fact that my physical body is phenomenal relative to where it was, that my relationships are closer, more intimate, and more supportive and foundational than they've ever been before. That my relationship with myself and that like feeling of love that I naturally have for myself, not after criticism, but before, that's what I can now mark as my definition. And I love that because for so many years I was attached to like the degree and the money and the number of clients and the business and all of that, you know, and I'm so grateful to be out of that.
So how do you, I think this is a great question for a lot of people because we are so measured in our work by the external factors, whether we're working online, it's the likes and the comments and the shares, whether we have a degree and we have clients, it's how many clients you have, how full is your schedule, all of these different things matter. So if you in the space that you're in, how do you measure success for yourself now if it's not those external factors?
Yeah. So for me, sometimes I need reminders, just like the rest of us do as humans, because I will get caught up in, oh, wait, oh my gosh, how many people have signed up for this course or whatever. And then I just bring myself back in line. And really there, it's me being able to feel into what success feels like, not just like having certain markers or certain data or facts or evidence, but to feel into it. And it's like, okay, so I can ask the question, where is my success in my business or this, that, or the other? But then all it takes is a pause and to say, but like, how do I feel overall about my life? It's that zoom out, right? It's that zoom out of your life, not getting involved in the details and being like, what have you created?
So with closing your traditional practice, how are people able to work with you now? What offerings do you have available for people?
Yeah. So right now, what I have coming up is Reiki certifications. And I don't even like to call them that, to be honest with you, because it's really it's an opportunity. It's a gesture of surrender to the universe where you're totally opening your vessel and saying, I'm willing to allow the universe to guide me and to guide my path and to be of service. And so I feel really passionate about that. So that's what I'm bringing forward. And I also have my Akashic Records immersion program, which really allows people to heal from at every single layer that you can imagine, from past lives to current life, to physical body, to mindset, to limiting beliefs, to your future, which of course is going to impact your relationships and your abundance and all of that lovely stuff as well. But those are my two main programs right now. I also have a membership group and one-on-ones available, but those are the two primary programs that I'm feeling really passionate about.
Awesome. And I know that you've been working on a lot of other juicy things behind in the scenes. So we're going to be keeping an eye out for that as well. And I know that things like retreats and all of that have been in your, yes.
That's right. I forgot. I'm hosting a retreat. Thanks for the reminder.
No problem.
I'm really excited about that. Oh my gosh. And did you read in my post that Superman owned it? Christopher Reeve used to own the mansion that we booked.
I did not know that.
Obviously you can come grab your superpowers and leave it.
Well, if that's not a sign, my friend, I don't know what
obviously.
Well, I love seeing everything that you're doing. And I'm so excited because, there's a lot of people that have been involved with the Breakthrough Show from the beginning. And while we may not talk every day, it's nice to see, stay connected on social media and see what everybody's up to. And then I can be like, hey, come tell all the people about it too. So that's a lot of fun. Thank you so much for being back here today and for the incredible updates. And we're going to be watching you, Laura.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, my friend.
You're so welcome. Bye.
Bye. I am so excited to be here and connecting with some of our past guests today. And it's always so much fun for me to do that, especially people that I feel like we could have recorded for hours and hours and still continued to talk after that. Our guest that we have coming on here is a producer and a filmmaker. She does all the things, an actress. She's, everything that you could do with film, she does. And so we're really thrilled to have her back to see what she's been up to since the last time she was on the Breakthrough Show. So please welcome back Sabrina Percario.
Yay!
I'm so
for
absolutely. I'm so excited to have you here because you were one of the highlights of my last season and for me, and just there's some people that we have a great conversation and it makes for a wonderful episode, and other people you just feel a connection with, and I definitely felt that with you, and I'm excited to hear what you've been up to. So tell us what's been going on since you were last on the show.
Right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the intro. I wish I could do everything, and I'm glad that this is like a teamwork effort, without my business partners and the people that work around us, we're not going to be able to do everything that we are achieving. And that's why I was excited that you created this channel so we can spread the news and update what's going on. And so since the last time we talked, I was on post-production for a couple of projects. And even though 2020 was a year that it slowed down a little bit, we were able to do some projects. And then 2020, and I felt like 2020 was also a preparation for 2021. We did a lot of computer work, research, and we were planting seeds. So now 2021, we are getting the results from that. And I'm creating a suspense, but anyways, I love to prepare the audience, So the good news is that my business partner, Raja Dek, and I, so we work for, I work for Touch Alive Productions. Mm-hmm. And we are developing 2 feature films, Living the Dream and Happy. So Living the Dream is a film that it's inspired by my life and multiple lives as well, from, foreigners who came abroad to America to pursue their dreams. So the movie, it's pretty much about that. And we want to inspire everyone from all walks of life and tell them, keep dreaming, keep, going after your goals and believe in yourself. Mm. And Happy is a feature film inspired by Raja Dekka's life, also an inspiring journey. And so we decided we created a pitch deck for both films, and we decided to create a package for our investors where they will get 60% of the profit and we will get 40%, because we want to attract people who really believe in those stories. Mm. And the good news is that we already have the LLC for those projects. We already have the contracts ready to go to send our investors. We were able to bring an amazing person to be in our project.
Here we go.
So we have Joey Newcomb. He is veteran executive producer, and he was the one he worked on Dallas Buyers Club, the film that gave Matthew McConaughey an Oscar. So he is an Oscar-winning, amazing executive producer. He's on our team. Yay. And we cannot be more grateful to have him on board. And on top of that, so we're gonna do Living the Dream first, right? And we were able also to bring an amazing veteran director from Brazil, because, the film is going to be inspired by my life initially, and I'm Brazilian, right?
Right.
So my character will talk in Portuguese and English. We also want to introduce that in the film and break the stereotypes. So I'm European Brazilian girl. So we got a director, Teresa Lampreia. She worked over 20 years at TV Global. It's the biggest channel in Brazil. So she has the amazing experience, and to have her on board is a blessing. And she was able to bring what we like to call the Sean Connery of Brazil, because he's also another veteran, very talented actor, Jackson Antunes. He's gonna play my dad in the movie. and I
Very
could
nice.
not be more honored to have him on board. So we're like Rajadek and I, we are overwhelmed of joy and gratitude to see that we are attracting like people. They are talent, they're bright, and they have the right intention. They all care about the project. They all believe in our stories, and they could be at their level of talent and who they are. They could be doing any other project, and they
Right.
they believe in us, and I have so much gratitude in my heart, and that's why I was like excited. I need to share those news with Jessica, and I say, hey, we are doing it. Remember I talk about having the feature film, but now it's happening, and then we have like a schedule. So by the end of this year, we're gonna get all the fund from our investors, and beginning of next year, the first semester, we're gonna start pre-production, and the goal is to start the production fall 2022. So maybe we do another what we're doing
Yes.
next year.
Yes, absolutely. I love catching up with everybody because it is really cool for me. This is what it's all about, to see you guys come on the show and talk about these big dreams and these creating your next big breakthroughs that are coming, and then coming back and saying, hey, it's happening. It's happening. It's exciting. Well, other than having people pay attention, because of course, as soon as we hear about any news from you, we're going to share it on the Breakthrough Show page. But where else can people maybe follow along and say what's going on with Sabrina and these films?
Yeah, so and if you're interested in our stories, we have Living the Dream, Happy, and we have another projects that are on the script development. You can definitely reach out us on our website, touchaliveproductions.com, and it's Touch a Life. And then there is also, I like to share my personal website as well, so they can know more about my work, not only as a producer, but as an actor. So it's sabrinapercario.com. And I guess social media, Facebook, Instagram.
Absolutely. We'll for sure have all of Sabrina's information. Of course, it's been on the breakthroughshow.com. You guys can check that out there. And like I said, as soon as we get word of any big news, we'll for sure share that on the Breakthrough Show page, so you guys can keep up with that as well. It's been so nice to sit down with you for a few minutes today, Sabrina, and catch up a little bit and hear about these projects. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see. Do you have somebody that's playing you yet? Do you have that? You're playing you? Yay. That's good.
Who should I cast to play me? I know a really good actor.
If it had to be someone else, I know last time you were here, we talked to Meryl Streep.
Oh yeah, Mary, listening.
Meryl, we're still here and we're still waiting.
and you know what's funny? Like, we've been talking to our sales agent, and it sounds so fancy. I'm like, oh yeah, I talked to my sales agent, and he was saying like, okay, once we have all the funding, reach out to him so he can go over his contacts, and he wants to bring an A-list to our films. And he was, we're talking about Jamie Lee Curtis to play my mom. We are talking about Paul Giamatti to play one of the acting teachers in the film. Yeah. And then, so he asked me, so when are you planning to shoot this? I'm like fall 2022. But what if the actor are not available? Well, I think we can work around that. And then, our schedule is flexible. If they are available, of course we work around that.
We'll bend a little bit,
We can push in or push up. It's fine. It will happen.
I love it. Well, I'm so excited to hear about these movies coming out, and definitely it's been amazing catching up with you, Sabrina. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, it's amazing sharing with you. Thank you so much for having this venue and allowing us to share our stories and inspire people.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, we're going to be back in just a minute for more. breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing. Healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every month for exclusive programming, where we invite you to go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com. Welcome back to The Breakthrough Show. I am here catching up with another longtime friend of The Breakthrough Show and longtime squirrely friend of mine here on the show today. She was one of our very first guests on The Breakthrough Show. And I still remember when she came on and she's like, my dream is to be on the TEDx stage. Well, guess what, my friends? The last time we did an update, we talked about that, how she finally made it to this TEDx stage. But what has she been up to since then? We're going to find out today. Please welcome back to the show, Lucinda Harman. Lucinda, it's so good to have you here again.
Thank you, Jessica, for catching up with me. And to everyone out there, wherever you are in the world, a warm welcome, and you're in the right place. Just by being on the Breakthrough Show means that you want to take action in your life. And those breakthroughs, they will be quicker and faster than you can imagine, as long as you just keep taking action and intentionally stepping forward. So yeah, it was last November. There was a TEDx. And kind of, I'm going to be honest with all of you and tell you something that no one will ever tell you in life, is that you think TEDx is it. Like you think your whole life is going to change and boom, I don't know, the heavens are going to open up and I don't know what's going to happen. And actually nothing happens. To be honest, nothing happens. The odd email, the odd person will follow you, the odd person, but really, if I had to tell you this aim I had, this dream I had, if anything, was you've always got to be careful of having too high expectation of an event and you don't fall off the side of the planet. It's almost like you hit a depression or you hit a hole, like this black hole after an event, because you thought that, I don't know what you thought, the universe was going to sing for you and angels will come out, and it didn't happen that way.
So with the expectations that we have of breakthroughs, had you put anything before TEDx on a pedestal like that? Or was TEDx like the first time you were really like, I expect this to be like the next big thing?
I've been an Olympic squad canoeist, I've been on top of my game in many things in my life. But I don't think I'd ever put anything as much pressure on myself. Eventually, that's almost what destroyed me. 2 weeks ago, I nearly actually withdrew. I just couldn't actually, just everything within me started not making sense. And I think it's very important to know this, and that's why I'm bringing it up, is stop putting the pressure on yourself and stop having expectations. Expectations are premeditated resentment. And if I had just treated it just like some other speech, it would have been way better. And kind of from here going forward, in everything I've done since then, I don't want to put any pressure like that on a life situation. Allow more flow, allow things to happen, and don't be so almost controlling about the nature of how this thing is going to pan out. I think there's just a lesson in that. I don't know why I've shared it, but anyway, I've shared it.
Well, I mean, it's a great thing to bring up, because I think, you know, we know the importance of visualizing, right? We visualize what we want, we picture it in our minds, but I feel like there's sort of a line between visualization and expectation. And how have you been able to like navigate that line now that you've had this experience of, well, that wasn't what I expected it to be? You know, how do you navigate that line now going forward of, I know the importance of visualization, but I don't want to expect so much that I'm come crashing down afterwards?
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant question, Jessica. And in the Beacon of Hope event that I did, first became distinguished Toastmaster, then I took up leadership in Toastmasters. And so I've gone on moving into corporate ranks, training, coaching, which is what I spend most of my time now doing, as well as coaching individuals. But we'll get to those criteria. What has been very important to me is you need to let go of the controls. So, and the thing with visualization, I mean, I visualized a lot in my life. And I hit this event that I did now, Beacon of Hope, global event, to really help people ignite, enlighten, inspire, was the tagline of the event. And the thing is, with this one, I had a calling inside of myself after I was in a shooting incident, and I was told by the counselor I had to do something. And this was a calling deep within my own being. What was interesting about the story is the fact that I had this entire vision of what it looked like. And the event was not even remotely like my vision. But this time I realized it was about the journey and not the destination. So what I've learned, the people I met, the people that heard the message, is way more important. And I learned some valuable lessons in it, like really valuable stuff. And I think it's really important to, if you can just remember, it's the journey and not the destination. Don't put pressure on yourself. Stop trying to control and manipulate your life. Your life needs to happen as it's meant to happen, and things are happening for you. I think if you can keep saying that to yourself. And I had this idea of millions of people. I mean, millions. I really did, honest. And it never, ever ended up like that. It ended up with, I think, 89 people in the room, but we were live streaming on many platforms. And I've had a lot of feedback right around. But, I don't put so much into something anymore. I think you've got to be careful. I learned this from my Qigong instructor, which I talk about in my TEDx, the same man that took me to the prison to help the prisoners. And he taught me, Lucinda, you must only ever give like 66%, 2/3. Leave that 33% open so the universe can give to you and people can give to you and come towards you. If you're going to keep pushing at 100%, you're going to be pushing everything away from you.
There's no room.
And there's no room. And I think that is what I got from Beacon of Hope. Where we go to from here, if we go anywhere, it doesn't have, I don't let things have a hold on me anymore. So I don't let an event or whatever it might be have a hold or grip on my life. I'm in power. I've taken the power back. No matter what happens in life, it's all as it's meant to be. Everything is going as it's meant to be, and you are where you need to be. So without the force, without the will, without the pressure, allow things to naturally progress. And there is no wrong thing that happens in life, in all truth.
Right. And
you never know, there's one person somewhere in this world. I've heard people give the most horrendous speeches, whatever it might have been in life. And there's one person in that room that they tugged on their heartstring and it changed their life. And that was a very important, moment for them in their lives.
You always come back to the show, Lucinda, with so much knowledge and more breakthrough, because that's one thing we've learned from those of us that have been, appearing on this show since the beginning, is that you don't just have one and then you're done. They just keep happening, right? It's the merry-go-round. So what are you up to now, Lucinda? What do you have going on? What would you like to share with everybody about where they can find you these days?
Yeah, I've got a nice upgraded website, my name is www.lucindaharman.com on Facebook. I'm sure below we'll put down a flyer that I will be, presenting to the Breakthrough Show special that I'll be giving on a very exciting workshop that I'm bringing out. Something that changed my life. The biggest breakthrough in my life, and I'm telling you today, was the day I learned how to feel safe when others disagree with me. That is when I found my biggest breakthrough in my life. I always believe that people disagree with me, they're going to leave my life. If there's conflict, it's ended, it's over. And today I look at those things as ways to actually mend, work further, have breakthroughs with people, and how to also develop my own skills and my own self at the same time. So what I kind of been focusing a lot on, I do speak internationally, coach internationally. I spend quite a lot of time in the United Kingdom. So that's kind of like Ireland and London, that kind of area at the moment, into Europe. And a lot of corporate work. So I'm working a lot with corporate teams. That's kind of my focus. And then very much, because these days I call myself the growth strategist. So growth is my biggest value, about my growth and the growth of those around me. And I'm going to say again to anyone out there, make sure the work you do is in alignment with your value, your core value. Number one, got to be your number one. So growth is the biggest thing that is important. And what I'm doing is a conflict mastery workshop that I'm going to offer Breakthrough Show that starts, and I'll start just after this goes live. And in that workshop, it's really important to help you find comfort in the entire dilemma of agree to disagree. And then also navigating those difficult conversations. You're coming up for this festive season where you're sitting with sometimes people that are a bit uneasy. And the other one is constructive, positive conversations. Even when there's an issue at hand, being able to do that really effectively.
Thank you so much, Lucinda, for offering that class, and also, of course, for being back with us on the Breakthrough Show. You know that we love to have you anytime that you're on here. And I really just want to, as we're coming to the end of season 5 here, I can't believe it's been 5 seasons and 3 years, and over 3 years now. And I just want to express so much gratitude to you for being a part of this since the beginning, and always being willing to come back and share some more with us. Thank you so much, Lucinda. I appreciate you. Welcome back to the Breakthrough Show. I am so excited to have our next guest back on here today. And typically we have a guest on once per season, but some people are just special and they are extra. And we are going to have that going on here today. She was on earlier in the season. She's a comedian from South Carolina, which you guys know has a special place in my heart because that's where my daddy lives. And I hear that has big news of some things that have happened since the last time she was on the show. So please, let's do this way. Circle, please take me to a private message with Michelle. Michelle, welcome back to the show.
Somebody has been practicing, hadn't they?
I tried.
Listen at you. Have you already applied to be on that show? You ought to.
I couldn't survive, but I hear that you were on this last season.
I was. Girl, last time I was on your show, I had to keep this a secret for a year and I couldn't tell nobody. So last time I was on your show, I was just busting at the gut. Mm-hmm. And I kept saying, I got big things coming up. I can't talk about it. You'll see. And you just got finished telling me that as soon as you were watching it, because you're a big Circle fan, you saw me and literally fell off your bed.
I sure did. I screamed. I felt, because I was, I'm like lounging, half hanging off the bed, half not, and we turned it on and I'm like, all right, I guess I got to get caught up here. Well, I got a few minutes on my, crazy TV shows I watch, and they introduced the first person, and then I said, get out. And I just started screaming, fell off the bed. The kids thought they had to call 911. I'm here though.
Well, yeah. So I was on the Circle season 3, and I was with a bunch of great people, and it was filmed in the UK. So the whole time I was gone, let me tell you, Jessica, the whole time I was gone, my husband was my wingman. He was my wingman. I said, look, it is imperative. I said, you got to listen to these instructions. And he goes, okay. While I'm gone, you have got to keep up my TikTok. Here is my password. I will give you enough video footage to last till I get back. I was gone for 5 weeks. Wow. And he says, okay. And God bless his heart. Bless him. He did it. Nobody knew none the differ.
I certainly didn't know. Like, I didn't know anything. Now, when you got the news, you fell off the bed too, right? Like when you got the news you were going to be on the show, did you fall off the bed too? Or were you like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get it?
So look, here's exactly what happened. I'm going to give you the total scoop. So I'm just minding my own business one day, and I get I think it was a message on TikTok. Hey, I'd like to talk to you. And I was like, and then I had my email up on my bio. And then I got an email. Well, then I got a phone call. And it was Courtney. And she goes, hey, you don't know me. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, that never starts off good with you don't know me. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like earlier whenever that guy called me and was telling he was from Publishers Clearinghouse and I won $2.3 million. I swear that happened earlier. And I started hollering at Donna. I did. I was like, Donna, I won $2.3 million. But I did. And he's like, are you looking at this as a joke? And I'm like, God, no, I'm going to go quit my job tomorrow. So anyway, she says, I am a recruiter with, what's the name of it? With, because see, everybody thinks it's Netflix that reached out to me, when it really wasn't. It was, oh gosh, I'll think of it in a minute. But she's with the producer that makes the show and says, we would think you would be great to be on the Circle. I'm a huge fan and I watch your TikToks all the time. Do you think you'd be interested? And I said, well, first off, thank you for following me on TikTok, but what in the hell is the Circle? I didn't know. I did not know. So she goes, go watch it. It's on Netflix. Tell me what you think about it. Get back in touch with me. And I was like, okay. So I went and I watched the show and I was like, I could do that. That's no big deal. I mean, hell, that gives me a break from my kids and husband, you know?
Amen.
Yeah. So I called her back and I said, okay, what do I need to do? She says, well, you had to go on, you had to apply. So go put in your application. So I did. And then once I did my application, she called me back and she goes, okay, they want to talk to you. So what I need you to do is to do a video stating why you need to be on this show. So I did, and I still have my video. And I was like, hey, my name is Michelle. I am from South Carolina, and I need to come on this show because I got to get the hell away from my crazy ass neighbors and my husband and my kids. I'm telling you, I'll make it worth your while. Just get me the hell out of here. And they loved it.
So was it, you were on the show on my show, in the midst of all of, knowing all of what you knew. Was it hard to keep it quiet from everybody?
No, not whenever they make you sign a contract. Yeah. Say they'll sue you if you do. Not hard at all. No, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what you're gonna sue me for, because I ain't got much. But yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing.
Were you allowed to? I know your husband obviously knew where you were going. Was there anybody else in your family you were allowed to tell? Like, did your kids know?
Yeah, now my kids knew, because God forbid if they didn't know where their mother was for 5 weeks, they would go, where's mom at? Have you killed her and dug her and put her in the backyard or something? So I had to tell them. And so, and I'm like, look, you absolutely cannot say anything. You can't tell anybody on social media. This is like, I can get in big trouble. And they're like, no problem. And bless their heart, they did so good.
Love it. Well, obviously, the show did not turn out how you or I or anybody else on the planet Earth wanted it to turn out. And the entirety of the internet had been pushing for justice for Orange Michelle. And do you agree with this push for justice? Do you feel like what happened was unfair, or do you feel like, hey, it was just a game, no big deal?
No, it was unfair as hell, and you damn right. Justice for Orange Michelle. Justice for Orange Michelle. So, again, it is a show. A lot of people, they'll go, if I was on that show, I would do this. And if I was on that show, I would take all of your ideas, roll them up in a ball and throw them out the window. Because I went in very simple, just going to be like, I'm the circle mom. That's it. And I'm glad I went in like that without a big game plan.
Right.
Because nothing I would have ever planned for would have predicted that was going to happen.
Right.
So I was so angry, as you saw on the show.
Yeah.
There was a lot of editing. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Because I was that angry. And I was hurt. I was angry. I was so many different feelings at that time. And, but again, that's the consequences. It's just like on The Price is Right, when you spin the wheel, your hopes are that you're going to win, that $1 spin, but it's not likely you're going to.
Right.
So you just don't ever know what you're walking into in any reality show. So I'm not mad at what happened to me, because honestly, I was the star of the whole show.
Yeah, we know that.
So I'm not mad at it.
Well, listen, I am so over the moon for you, my friend, and all the opportunities you had. And just to see, like, you were doing so well on TikTok when I met you, and now to see you doing this, and you've got so much. I know that there's a lot coming for you. I can feel it. It's like
I hope
bubbling
so.
in the cauldron,
I really hope, because, one thing that really, with what's going on in the world, and there's so many bad things that are happening in the world right now. There are also great things happening in the world. And one of the things that takes all of that away, if only for a moment, is laughter. And I got into TikTok at the right time, when people were quarantining in their homes. They needed something. And I was that something. And I had a conversation with the girl the other night, and I'm trying not to get emotional. And she had went through cancer. I've had several people that have gone through cancer, just so many bad things in their life. And she got on my live and she said, I'm not going to be on here for a second. I just want to tell you that you saved my life. She said, while I was going through chemo and radiation and the pain that I went through, I could always sit and watch your videos and at least laugh for a little while.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Laughter is medicine. 100%. That's the whole time I was sick this last year. I was watching comedies and watching your TikToks, and just doing. I couldn't comment. I couldn't get up off the couch. I couldn't do anything. But I sure did watch, and it helped. I think that. I know that you posted on Instagram about, wanting to do a tour and wanting to go to different colleges and things like that. And I commented that you need to come to North Alabama because it's not super far from South Carolina,
right?
But you come to my house, I'll feed you food. It'll be a bigger apartment than the Circle, and we'll have some laughs, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, I'll tell you this. I am right now, I'm trying to convince Bruce Ayers of the Stardome to let me to come back and do another a show there and to be a headliner.
Yes.
And if he lets me do that, I'm going to be ringing your doorbell.
Yes.
And be going, I'm hungry as hell.
Come on.
I'll do it too. That's a promise. Because I'm going to tell you what, that's a lot cheaper than, a hotel.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
so-
well, I mean, you have the entertainment of the 856 children I have,
That's
and
okay. I'm good with that. I mean, honey, I have all my babies are grown.
I know it. I know.
And I have 4, and now I don't even know how many grandchildren I have anymore. I'm not that kind of
feels like that.
I'm not that kind of grandma. I always told my kids, I'm like, look, when you get ready to have babies, I want to go ahead and throw that out here for you right now, just so y'all know, I'm not going to be that grandma to raise your babies. Okay. I'm going to do me. I have sacrificed everything about myself to y'all, and I'm done. And now it's my turn.
I'm here for that. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And
well,
I told my kids, I said, now you can do your thing with your kids. When you get my age, then you can do it.
that's right. That's right. Well, I am so glad that you took the time to come back today, Michelle. And I love catching up with you. And of course, you're welcome back anytime. And I wish you so much goodness and blessing for the things to come. And you let me know when you come down the street, and my door's open.
I promise I will. How far are you from Birmingham?
About an hour 45.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the which
I'm up near the Tennessee border, so I'm up in the shoal. Like if you look at Muscle Shoals, did you see the Aretha Franklin movie with Jennifer Hudson that came out?
I'm ashamed to say I have not.
Got to see the movie, because some of her career started right here in Muscle Shoals at Fame Studios. You can actually go right here where Aretha Franklin recorded her record.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe I need to go record my record there.
Yes.
Girl, you know why I do comedy, right? Because I don't know how to sing. I couldn't sing. If you made me, I mean, I'll sing to you, but you wish you wouldn't have asked me. I don't even go to karaoke.
Well, you do comedy amazing, and I know that everybody always gets a good laugh, and we're glad that that's your job, because we need more of that in the world. Michelle, thank you so much for being here again today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome back to the Breakthrough Show. I'm so excited to finish out our Where Are They Now episode today with, I keep saying this is truly the first Where Are They Now episode where we've actually had people back that have been everywhere on the Breakthrough Show this season already. But I can't see closing out the season without them. So I want to welcome back to the screen, ladies and gentlemen, my friend and yours, an incredible musician, vocalist, Kevin Kiley. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So excited always to have you here, my friend. And I was like, we never had you sing I Know You'll Be Home when it came out.
I know it came out in a little sneaky error.
I was disappointed in myself, I must say. I'm like,
Oh, we're here now. So that's all that matters.
Yes, true. Well, I can't believe how fast this year has gone by, and it's not over yet. You're one of the performers for a musical evening of giving coming up on December 4th. How excited are we for that?
So excited. I cannot wait. That's going to be such an amazing night. We've been looking forward to it for a long time now.
Yeah. We've been planning and waiting, and now we're in that home stretch, and I'm like,
That's
oh,
right.
it's coming.
It's coming.
It's
Less than a
happening
month.
now, whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, what's something looking back over 2021 that you're thankful for this year, Kevin?
Oh, I'm thankful for the music. Like, honestly, music really got me through. Like I, mentioned a lot of times, like I really, my life kind of went in a different direction, as well as most of a lot of people during the pandemic and all that fun stuff. But music was always there, and I got to release a lot of stuff that, I didn't necessarily plan on being able to release. But I'm grateful that I did, and I've had a lot of awesome opportunities since then. So.
And you're back on stage.
At
the time that we're recording this, you are the star, Kevin Kiley. How has that experience been being back on stage?
It's been amazing. It was a totally different feeling. We opened last week, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm doing this for the first time again, because it's been so long since I'd stepped on, the stage in a musical. Like, I've done some of my solo stuff, but it's totally different. But the feeling, the adrenaline, not from being, with people right there, being able to enjoy your work, it's been unreal. We had an amazing audience last night too. Amazing.
Oh. So good. I'm so excited for you and continue to see your growth and everything that you're doing. And I want all of the people to hear this beautiful song that came out. Where did I Know You'll Be Home come from in your mind?
Oh, it came from the heart. It's one of those things where it's like, you take something that was maybe not so great, and you twist it into turning it around and making it positive, and know that, things kind of happen for a reason, and what's meant to be will always be. And, you are home, your safe place is home, and that kind of thing, for sure.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, somebody asked me just a couple days ago, they said, when is the next time Kevin is singing for us? It's happening right now, people. So here to perform, I Know You'll Be Home, is Kevin Kiley.
You had your issues, and I was right there with you. But when I had my problems, you closed the door. I never want to feel this. I'm trying hard to heal this, no. But you can't run from where you're meant to go. You can't run away from home. I know you'll be back, and I know you'll feel bad, and I know you'll regret giving up what we had. A love like ours, it doesn't come easy, no. Baby, what we have is far from typical. I know you'll be home. I know you're looking for my heart hidden in somebody else's skin. I know you'll wake up in his bed one day and realize you ain't finding it. I know you're telling them you hate me, but baby, we've been down this road, we paved it, so save it. I don't want to hear the fake words that are coming out of your mouth. I know you don't mean the things we've been talking about. I know you'll be back, and I know you'll feel bad, and I know you'll regret giving up what we had. A love like ours, it doesn't come easy, no. Baby, what we have is far from typical. I know you'll be home. Oh, I know you'll be home. Oh,
Yay. I know you all will be home with your ticket to a musical evening of giving to hear Kevin Kiley sing along with our other 11 amazing groups and artists for this event. Kevin, I love you to pieces. And shout out to your word that I'm not going to say because I'm going to butcher it again, your piano player in the background.
Yes, Miss Allison Faye in the house. She'll be back on December 4th playing.
Yes, Allison, thank you so much for your gift as well and being on to share these moments with us and with Kevin. And Kevin, I'm so excited to see what happens next year. And we know that you'll be back. You won't just be home, you'll be back.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, my friend, thank you so much for joining us for another incredible episode today. I want to thank all of our amazing returning guests. I hope that you will go to thebreakthroughshow.com and check out all of their information and join us next week for the live season 5 finale of The Breakthrough Show. Join us. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. And until next week, I want to remind you to make every day a great day for a breakthrough. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Breakthrough. Please visit our website at www.thebreakthroughshow.com and be sure to join our After the Breakthrough community powered by Patreon. We look forward to seeing